Welcome to season 3 of Wax Pro Uncut. I'm Erica.
And I'm Rachel.
That's not Rachel. This is actually Philip Barreras. Welcome, Philip. We call him Father Phil. He is here in place of Rachel. We actually work with Phil. He is our social media strategist. He is a barber and educator and owner of Viconic Consulting. Philip, did I miss anything?
Yeah, a little bit. No, but yeah, I'm Phil and born and raised Tucson, Arizona, Southside Tucson from the hood.
Southside.
You know what it's like, right?
That's right.
And so, yeah, I'm a barber first. I've been a barber for over 20 years. I'm an educator. I get to travel the whole country and educate with different, numerous companies. In the barber industry, I've been able to travel across the world, honestly, and just been an entrepreneur since the age of 18.
Right on. So, what was your first endeavor? Your entrepreneur endeavor?
First, I was a barber. I started cutting hair when I was like 13, and I had four older brothers, and they would just shave their head bald. So one day I was just like, "Hey, like, let me try to give you a fade." And if they liked it, they kept it. If not, they just shave it off anyways. And so by the time I got to high school, started cutting all the homies. They'd catch the bus after school, do the $5 haircuts, and as soon as I turned 18, I was working at my only paycheck job I've ever had. I was working at Discount Tire. And when I turned 18, my dad said, "Do you want to keep doing this for a living or do you want to go to school?" And I for sure didn't want to bust tires the rest of my life. So I said, "Fuck this. I'm going to go to barber school." And at that time, like I already had full clientele. I was doing both. I was working like Monday through Thursday, and then I was working in a shop low key,
Mhm,
got a license,
mhm.
Friday through Sunday. And so that's when he kind of like brought it to my attention, like, "Hey, you're going to keep going this route or do you want to really take this barber thing serious?" So I went to school and I've been working in a barbershop since I was about 20. I got my license,
Yeah,
but it's been in the shop in the barber industry now for almost over 20 years.
right.
And during that time, I was able to not only build myself as a barber from behind the chair, meaning like gaining clientele on social media, like through Instagram. Like when Instagram started, it was probably maybe like 12 years ago, I want
Mhm.
to say. And everything was just photos, right? Remember, everything was
Yeah.
photos covered in filters.
Horrible filters.
Yes, and like, "Does this make my haircut look better?" Like, right? And so that was how it started, and then it was, like, the 15-second videos, remember that? And I'm, like, trying to get this badass video in 15 seconds.
Yeah.
And so I just started that, and then there was this whole movement in the barber industry, they called it, like, the celebrity barber era, and there was a few guys that were called the celebrity barber team, and at that time, I was like, "Fuck," like, them. Like, I want to be those guys, right? And so I made it a goal of mine. Like, I really wanted to become somebody in my industry, and I really wanted to, put my flag down in the industry where people are going to remember me for it. And so at that time, I started going to all the barber battles and winning all the trophies, thinking that that was the way to go. And then soon found out that was not. And so then I just started to really just seek guidance from like mentors and people. I'm like, "Hey, bro, like, what am I doing wrong? Like, I win all the barber battles. I'm good at cutting hair. Like, what do I got to do to become an authority in my industry?" And he's like, "Let me look at your Instagram page." And he looked at it and he's like, "Yo, you're just clippers and hands." He's like, "Clippers, hands, and trophies. Like, that's all you're doing. Like, we know you're a good barber, but what are you doing that makes you stand out over the next guy?" I was like, "Cool, noted." Took it back, went back to the lab, studied, figured out what I was gonna do. And at that time, I didn't realize what it was gonna do, but it was more of like, fuck it, let's go.
Mhm.
I can cuss.
Yeah, you
Okay.
can.
Oh,
You can.
it's uncut. I forgot. This
Yeah,
isn't cut.
it's uncut.
Wax cut, not cut, uncut. All right. And so I started to learn about shears, like scissors,
Mhm.
because any barber, anybody that knows barbering, barbers don't really know how to use scissors, right? So it's like with cosmetology versus barbering, right?
Mhm.
Barbers are good at fades, cosmos are good at shears. So if you want to get a good fade, you go to a barber. You want to get a longer cut, you go to a cosmetologist, right?
Right. Mhm.
And so that's when like that whole movement really began in the industry. And there was a guy, his name was Andrew Does Hair, and he was kind of like the pioneer of that. Like he was a stylist teaching barbers how to use scissors and how to style hair. And so like I just studied everything he did. And then that's when like the European movement came in, where all these European barbers came in and
Mhm.
started fucking taking over the industry. And so I was just lucky enough to learn enough fast to where people started calling me like, "Hey, that's the shear guy. Like, Phil's the guy that you go to learn about shears." So like it blew up my whole social media platform, and it blew up my whole career. And so that's kind of how it all began. And from there, I became an educator, and I started educating all over the state, all over my city, and then all over the country.
Mhm.
And so through that, it was all powered by the power of social media. I
Mhm.
was constantly posting. I was figuring out what worked, what didn't work, right? And I began to scale my page. And so since then, people they watched. And like I always say, right? Like first they hate, then they watch, then they follow. So I,
Mhm.
I went through the hate era where everybody was like, "Oh, Phil photoshops his haircuts," or he thinks he's so fucking
Yeah,
cool
he
because he,
thinks he's the shit.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it's
Who
like
is this guy?
he thinks he's cool because he has a DSLR camera. Every fucking barber in the world has a camera now, right?
Yeah.
And so I was doing that before, especially like in a small town
Yeah.
like Tucson. Everybody thinks like the shit that I do in Tucson, they're like, "That's so great." He's the guy that did that. I'm like, "Bro, I saw some dude in New Jersey do that shit like months ago." So
Mhm.
I feel like small cities are always like a little bit behind. Do you agree?
For sure.
And even like Phoenix, like there's a lot more growth in Phoenix than in Tucson.
Definitely.
Like we're way behind. So anytime that I would come out with something or something new, I'd be like the guy that did it first, right?
Mhm.
And so it went from that to where people began to reach out to me. I had a local cosmetologist. She's a stylist and she owned a salon, really, really well known, stylist in the Tucson area. And she's like, "Hey, like, I love the way you make content. Can you teach me how to do it?" And I was just like, "Well, I don't know, sure." And like at the time, it was cool because like I'll never forget that lady. Shout out to Irma, by the way. Just ever
Shout out
watches this,
Irma.
if ever Irma ever watches this, and I tell that story because she was my first paid student. Her son was going to barber school, and she's like, "Hey, can you teach my son how to cut hair?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she's like, "How much do you charge?" And I was like,
How much do I charge?
"Yeah." I was like, "Fuck." So I just did the math at the time, right? I was like, "Okay, like $300." And she's like, "Okay." And I was like, "Fuck." The
It
fact
did
that
say
she did,
300, it meant 3,000.
yes, the fact that she didn't flinch,
Right.
I knew at that point. I knew I fucked up.
Yeah.
And so it was cool. Like it was my first class, whatever.
Yeah.
And so I always respect it because anytime that I've ever done something, she's always been one of the first people to ever invest into me. So I charged her to teach her how to, do social media, make content, stuff like that. And she scaled her pace really fast. Like, she has a pretty good following on social media. She works a lot with influencers now, and so it really helped her. And then it became, I met Viviana, my girlfriend. I was like, "Hey, like, let me help you build your page." Helped her build her page. Then she told her friends. So then her friends wanted to hire me. And so
So you had a proven concept.
yeah, and so it was kind of wash, rinse, and repeat. And one thing that a lot of people, if you know me, right? I'm always learning. And so even if I don't know how to do something, I'm gonna fucking figure it out. And like I'm gonna just figure it out and I'm gonna get there, right? And so that's kind of what happened. And during that, I'm still in my barber era and still educating. I still educate to this day. But I was able to realize at that time, like the fact that I built a personal brand, like Phil, right? Top by Phil, Barber Phil, whatever, the fact that I built a personal brand, no matter what I want to do in my life, I'm able to monetize that through the power of social media. And so once I started generating enough revenue to the point where I was making as much money with marketing versus cutting hair, I was like, well, fuck, like I kind of have a business here.
Mhm.
And so then I obviously started working with more people. And then I actually met Vanessa. And then you know Vanessa, right? And so I met her and she took one of my classes. Like I said, I'm an educator first. All I know how to do is teach. So I was
A
teaching
social
classes.
media
Yeah,
class.
I was
Okay.
teaching. So I went from teaching haircuts to teaching social media
Sure.
classes all over the country. And she took my class. She's like, "I want to hire you." I was like, "Okay, let's go." And within not even a month, we started scaling her page fast. And within 3 months, it was just like unbelievable. So it got on the radar of a lot of people.
Mhm.
And once that happened, that's when I realized like, oh shit, like I really got to like decide if this is what I want to keep doing. So at that point, I started seeking help and I started hiring people, partnered with a few people to be able to keep scaling the business. And now we're able to service, tons of people in the Arizona community and hoping to keep working with more and more people and help you guys as well.
Right on. Yeah, that's awesome. So great intro. And that was going to lead me into my next question. Like, what is Viconic? So I see how you got there, but what services do you offer?
So that's where it gets tough, right? And so Viconic means it means visionary consulting. So I say visionary because it was a vision. Consulting because when I looked into this, because like I'm a barber, but I'm
Mhm.
also a businessman first. So I look at businesses and how they're ran. And if I'm gonna quit my barber career, right, so that I make multiple six figures a year doing, it's really got to make sense to me. And so when I studied media, right, no offense to the videographers out there, shout out to the guy in the back, but when I studied media, it didn't sit well with me. And it didn't because it's kind of one of those things that's like, I honestly started creating content for myself because I hated working with videographers. And it was just because one, I would pay hundreds of dollars for a video. they would give me a product, but there was no strategy behind it.
Yeah.
And so, like, I remember that, like, $500 for a video. Here you go. Posted it, got 100 views. Fuck. Like, right. I'm just shot down. And so I didn't understand media because it was like, to me, it was like, you don't have any strategy. So you're just giving product.
Mhm.
So I kind of see it like being artists, right? Like you paint a
Mhm.
picture and you sell your art.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it wasn't scalable to me because it was like I needed stability.
Mhm.
And then when I looked at marketing, the marketing side of it, to me, I felt like marketing was very outdated,
Yeah.
where it's like you can pay for SEO, SEM, right? But like the ads and the photo and the still shot photos were just not it for me. I'm like, that's not what I want to do. I don't know
Right.
shit about SEO, right? And so I saw it more as a consulting agency versus a media or marketing agency. I know like marketing kind of just sticks because that's what everybody kind of correlates to it. But I named it consulting because essentially, like, we began consulting people on how to build a personal brand.
Right.
And so, as a company, what we do is we help people build personal brands to be able to monetize their social media and to be able to generate revenue through social media.
Right.
And so, we script for the clients, we film for the clients, we edit, and we strategize. And so, essentially, what we did is we blended marketing with media and made it one. And now more than ever, it's like everybody has their own agency now.
Right.
And so I'm just trying to navigate now of like how can we do that, but just better, you know?
Sure. Optimize and be more efficient.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, I want to talk about branding because that's something you really opened my eyes to. So, I also do business consulting. I consult franchisees. So, a little bit of a different mindset, right? Franchisees typically want a lower risk getting into a business, right? So you buy something that's a proven concept versus, an entrepreneur, it's like you have to have balls. You do. Whether you are an esthetician starting your little wax suite, you are the videographer going to, shoot shots at concerts, or you once were a 13-year-old child cutting hair, which is just crazy, by the way, 13 cutting hair. But
Yep.
um, what is the difference though between a brand versus marketing? And they are very different.
Yes. What is the difference? That's just tough because I feel like maybe marketing is a little bit more transactional. And I feel like personal branding is a long route, right? Because I do work with a few corporate businesses and they're very, very like, if I give you X amount of dollars, how much am I going to get back in revenue?
Mhm.
And with organic marketing, it's really hard to track that revenue,
Yes,
right? So we're honestly selling attention and we're selling like personal growth. So like with you guys, right? Like you guys have a goal of we want to reach a certain amount of followers. We want to be able to build a culture and build, a community so that we can sell and generate revenue eventually. And like when I met you, I told you I was like, yeah, like I felt like maybe you guys were doing it backwards.
totally.
And maybe that came from your corporate like,
Background, for sure,
background
for sure.
where it's like you did all the right things corporately, but the personal brand side was all that you were missing. And I told you, like, when I met you, I was like, bro, like, you guys fucking have it. You're just using the wrong tool.
Right. Wrong order.
Yes.
So one thing we learned is like the storytelling of the branding, right? And so we talked about this in another episode, but it's just like we know what we're talking about, but our social, there was no proof at all
Hmm.
because we never focused on it, right? You obviously flourish where you water, and we
Hmm.
just hadn't watered our socials. So it was a big blind trust to move forward with with
Hmm.
Viconic, and really let go of sales for, I mean, as long as we have to. We had to focus on building the brand, proving that we actually are experts and educators. And we just didn't do it because we didn't have to before. And now you do. So I just want to talk about the evolution of marketing as a whole, because 100% there's things I'm seeing right now with like the corporation I work for during the day,
Yeah.
that they're like, leads suck, or, the leads are just not good quality. I'm not getting enough of them. And
Hmm.
they're worried about leads, 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 leads. But you go to their social media and you don't know who owns the company. You
Hmm.
don't know what it's about. What's the feel? What's
Hmm.
the vibe? And I think a lot of companies are missing the mark on that.
Yes.
So, in your opinion, the evolution of marketing, where are we at right now?
So let's back it up a little bit.
Yeah.
And I feel the difference in why it shifted, and I'll get to where it shifted,
Mhm.
is at first social media was social. look at my new car, look at
Mhm.
my dinner, look at my date, look at my boyfriend, look at my husband, right? Like it was just showing off your life.
Yeah.
And then once the TikTokification came into social media,
TikTok
TikTokification,
TikTokification?
that's a Gary V line. I
Wow.
can't even take that now. I can't even take credit for that one.
No, I just never
That's
heard it. That's
it's a
funny.
Gary V line, and the TikTokification happened during COVID, and because
Mhm.
we are stuck inside of a house, can't do shit, right?
Mhm.
So what did they do? We just watched TikToks all day,
Right.
and people were there because they were bored. They were there to be entertained.
Mhm.
Okay, and so once that happened, every other platform had to copy what they were doing.
Mhm.
So essentially, we're like TikToks or Reels, right? Facebook Shorts, those are all TikToks, right? And so it shifted from being social media to now becoming media.
Mhm.
Okay. So then everything on social media became everybody's selling some shit. That's what it is now. Like everybody's selling some shit nowadays.
Everybody sounds something.
Everybody's got some shit to
Yep.
sell. Even if you're selling attention,
Yep.
right? Even if a girl's posting her ass on a photo,
Right.
she's selling attention, and then there's a link to subscribe, right?
Yeah.
And so, and so,
That's
at the end of the day, everybody's selling because it's what it is, right? Like a
right.
girl could do that, get 100,000 followers, and somebody's like, "You should start an OF,"
Mhm.
and it's like, "Well, fuck yeah, I'm not making money, so I might as well," right?
Might as well.
And so, essentially, everybody's selling something, and so it got harder. And I remember when that happened, when it became the TikTokification of media, right? I saw a lot of barbers get salty as fuck because before it was like, I'm just gonna post haircuts, right? And everybody's gonna love me. It was,
Before and afters.
yes, it was all about how good you were,
Right.
right? And then it became a thing where people didn't give a fuck about how good you were.
Mm-mm.
They wanted to feel something. And so that's what social media shifted into was social media isn't showing off anymore. People want to feel something. And that's where it correlates to storytelling is when you tell a story, people can feel that.
Mhm.
And like I told you that, guys, when I met you guys, it's like people buy from people now more than ever because everybody's so tired of being sold.
Mhm.
And so, shout out to Gary Vee again. It's now the jab, jab, right hook effect where it's like you give value, and then every once in a while you slide in a sales pitch.
Mhm.
And that's the only way to go about social media now because people, as soon as you see sponsored ad or you see anything that has to do buy my course, what do? Gone.
Swipe. Yep.
They're gone. And so the same thing even with YouTube. Like nobody wants to watch a 20, 30-minute commercial, right? Like they want to be entertained. You're there to either be entertained or you want to learn some shit.
Mhm.
And so now even with YouTube, on the rise again, that if you're not doing either one of those things, you're losing. Like you're just wasting your time.
Right.
And so I feel that correlates to the marketing side that you're talking about is that you're paying for these ads and you're paying for these leads and they're not good leads because they're all coupon based leads is what I call them.
Mhm.
We ran that with I also own a lash salon as well. And we've ran ads like that and like they're just coupon buyers.
Mhm.
They come to get the $100 full set and then they're never coming back.
Mhm.
Because then a real set costs 300, right?
Right.
And so these leads aren't really qualified and they swear that they are, but in reality they're on Facebook groups and all these coupon shoppers where you don't even want those kind of clients anymore.
Right.
And so now by doing it organically, these media company or these marketing agencies are getting frustrated because or people are getting frustrated because it's like doing it organically takes a lot of time.
Takes time, it takes patience, it takes strategy, and it takes trial and error. It takes putting yourself in a position where maybe you don't want to be, discomfort, right? And you posted something actually yesterday on your story about, growth comes from being uncomfortable or
Hmm.
something along those lines. And I mean, I've always known that. I've always embraced being uncomfortable, but putting yourself out there in front of a camera, right? Doesn't matter what your hair looks like, your lashes look like, your teeth, your weight, how you feel about yourself, what's going on with you mentally, emotionally, what happened yesterday. You're on a camera. And like it really is a lot of, I don't want to say pressure, but it could give you insecurities, right? And then you're really thinking about the words and the scripting and, "Oh, that sounds silly or that sounds like not me, right? So it's a lot of blind trust and just putting yourself out there. So you gave us quite a few golden nuggets about social media so far. Are there any like tips you would give to? And keep in mind, a lot of our girls watching our audience, not just girls, friends, family,
Yes,
viewers,
non-biased.
they're also service providers, a lot of them. So With that in mind, what are some tips you would give like service providers trying to build their social media, or just generally social media tips?
First thing, and it's the most overly said thing, just do the thing.
Do the thing.
Whether you suck at it, whether you're not good at it, whether you are good at it, just do it.
Mhm,
And that's like, I personally love the gym because I know you're a gym rat too, right? And I love the gym because it correlates to life. Anything you want to do in life, business, health, fitness, fucking social media, anything, you got to do a lot of it.
mhm,
And so I believe that, you know, quality always overlaps as quality. Like obviously, like we want quality. Like everybody wants to look good, right?
mhm.
But when you do quantity, you begin to be able to do quality because you get better.
That's right.
Like when you go to the gym, right? You're
More
not
reps.
good. Yeah, you're not good the first time.
Mm-mm.
You're not good the second time. It takes months. Even like losing
Years.
weight, right? And gaining muscle. Like
Yeah.
average bodybuilder minus the steroids can build maybe like what, a pound a year in muscle? Could be wrong.
Don't quote me.
Something of that sort. Naturally.
Come on, don't quote me because
Organically with the K.
we ain't buff over here right
Yes.
now.
But yeah, like something like the gym and fitness takes so much time. And
Mhm,
so the best advice to start is just to start.
mhm. Just
Don't wait.
start and just do it.
Yes. No matter if you suck, if you look weird, you feel cringe, you sound weird, you whatever, just do the thing.
So let's talk about cringe. That's a topic I wanted to bring up. You're the king of cringe. You're
Yes.
like, you're gonna do this. And Rachel and I are like kicking and screaming the whole time, like, "Ugh," right?
Especially Rachel. Shout out to Rachel.
Yeah, Rachel.
I hate this one.
I hate
Can we
it.
just fucking do this and get it over with?
Right. So let's talk about that because I think sometimes the keyboard warriors, the haters, if you will,
The keyboard
online, they're
warriors.
so triggered by some of these videos. And I think it's funny because I'm like, dang, they don't realize this is a strategy.
Yeah.
It is working. It's doing what we thought it would do. So tell us a little bit about your cringe strategy and when you should do it, if you should do it.
Yes. Well, first of all, I wouldn't want people to not be themselves. So like
Sure.
when I met you guys, like naturally, like you're funny as fuck. Cool. Hands like anybody that knows you, like you're cool as fuck. So as I started to notice that and like the movie quotes and all this shit that we always fuck around on, and I noticed that like you guys were naturally jokesters. Like, oh cool, like that works for their branding. Like I want to do that. Then when I actually made you do it, you're like, fuck, I gotta be like this, right? You're like, great. That was behind the scenes, Phil.
Right, right.
I like that route just because the problem with social media not being cringe is that when you only when you only search for the good,
Mhm.
you're never gonna win. Because anybody will tell you, right? You're gonna always have more haters than supporters, correct?
That's right.
So if you're not searching for the negative and you're not okay with the negative, you're never gonna be successful on social media. Just hands down. And so when you're cringe, when I script you guys, right? I write things that I know are gonna attract emotion.
Mhm,
So I gotta repeat that. When I script you, I write things that I know when somebody's watching it, it's gonna attract an emotion.
mhm.
And so if you're not searching for that emotion, all they're gonna do is just swipe right by you guys.
Mhm.
And so I'm very I love to use like reverse hooks. I love to use controversial hooks. I love to use anything that I know is gonna piss some people off
Right.
because you're gonna have people that will be like, fuck yeah. And you have some people that are gonna be like, fuck you. And so I want both. And
Right.
both has gotten guys viral many, many times now, right?
Mhm.
And so that's the strategy behind that. And just really understanding like the emotions and the psychological side of marketing. That's
Right.
what excites me. That's fun.
Right. The triggers. Absolutely. So obviously, like your passion is helping businesses find their voice,
Mhm.
building the brand. You've built your personal brand. You've helped Viviana build her brand. You've built Vanessa from My Vanities brand. Um, I think there's a few others that you work with that I know, but we've never confirmed.
Yeah.
So I want to shout them out. But you have a lot of successful clients on social media. What is the common denominator among those successful clients? Why are they making it on social media versus the ones that don't?
Oh man, to be real.
Yeah.
I would say the ones that make it and the ones that have the most success are the ones that do the work. And that's one thing that I could never take from you guys that I can't take credit for is that you guys have always everything that I've asked, even though you really deep down didn't want to do it. You did it. You trusted the process. And not that I knew everything, because I don't. Like there is some trial and error. But it's like, hey, like we're gonna try this. And you're
Mhm.
like, all right, fuck it, let's go. And then it worked out. Fuck yeah, it worked out.
Mhm.
But it was mainly just following the plan. Because like the strategies that we come up with, like we've seen it work for clients and we just wash, rinse, and repeat. So that if there's one thing that is repeated is the strategies. They're very repetitive. But if it's working, it's working. And so the most success that we've had with clients are the people that do the work and the people that show up.
Mhm.
And there is a side to marketing that people don't understand as well, is like you have to be likable.
100%.
And so let's say even if you're not, you have to find that inner person inside of you of like, okay, like I always tell my clients, like, look at your page. Would you follow you?
Right.
Right? Based off of what you post.
Right.
Would you be like, I love this guy or I love this girl?
Right.
Probably not, right?
Mhm.
So if you look at your page, like as soon as I get to your page, like, oh, these guys are fucking awesome, right? And so people want to follow you. And that's why I always use like Vanessa as an example. My vanity is like when you go to Vanessa's page is easy to monetize because Vanessa solves a world problem. Meaning like 98% of women in the world wear makeup, right?
Mhm.
It was me and my statistics. I don't even know if they're right. We'll get
Just
outed soon.
pull them out of your ass. It's
Yeah.
fine.
98% of women in the world probably wear makeup, right? Maybe less.
Let's go US. In the
US.
United States.
Yes. 98%. So whether you do makeup or not, and that's kind of her niche is she wants to teach women how to do their own makeup. But she's solving a universal problem,
Mhm.
right? And so no matter whether you do makeup or not, you're gonna want to follow her because there is gonna be that one time that you're gonna have to do your own makeup. Like, I better follow this bitch because if not,
Mhm.
I'm not gonna know how to do my own makeup.
Mhm.
One, two, on the guy aspects of it, like she's a good looking woman. And so from a guy's perspective, like, well, I'm gonna follow her because of
Mhm.
that.
Right.
And like, I'm not saying that you have to be good looking, but there is that side of it where things factor in. Even a guy,
100%.
like, there's good looking dudes that have millions of followers just because homie's
They
got
look
green
good.
eyes and some muscles, right?
Yeah.
Right. And so, like, those things do factor in. And I'm not to discourage anybody because even if you're quote unquote not the best looking person, there's so many traits that you could have that people would like,
Mhm.
right? You could be super funny. You could be very knowledgeable. There's
Mhm.
a lot of things. I see like older ladies in their 70s and 80s blowing up on Instagram.
I
Bec
know, it's amazing.
Yeah, but it's because they have the knowledge. Like, people wanna see, like, what the hell does she like, she's got some age on her. I wanna
Mhm.
figure out what she knows,
Right,
right?
right.
And you have to figure that out, and that's kind of what our job is, like, we figure out what is the best version of you. Like, I help you create the best version of yourself.
Wow. That is what Viconic does.
Bar.
Wow. So just a couple of closing thoughts here. Number one was, you said you have to be likable on like social media, right? Even
Yeah.
if you're not in the mood, it's not in your like natural behaviors,
Mhm,
you just got to do it.
mhm.
Isn't that like so true with the service industry? When you're
Yes.
barbering, when you're lashing, when you're waxing, you have to do the same thing. Like you might not even like the client, but you got to dig deep and make the connection, ask the questions,
Mhm.
build the rapport, right? So all of it is so, full circle, starting from barbering to waxing to whatever
The
you're doing
business
in the
to
service
the
trade.
gym.
Yeah, it's all super applicable. And I don't think there's ever a coincidence. It's just do the work, be consistent, right? Trust the process.
Mhm.
Literally, my personal trainers have told me that those same exact things. It works if you just do it. Okay, let's talk about
Well, then there's the strategy aspect, right?
yeah, oh yeah, for sure. The strategy behind like when someone says trust the process, like my trainer's strategy for me versus trust the process when Father Phil, that's what we call him, tells us to, move forward with scripting or whatever. But last things. So what are the biggest mistakes that you see people make in social media or media production?
The biggest mistakes is not showing their face on camera
Mhm.
because I believe that personal branding is at an all-time high.
Mhm.
Like, even if, let's say, you don't wanna be the face of your company, like Coca-Cola
Right.
or Louis Vuitton, right?
Right.
You don't see the owner of the company showing his face on video
But
and
they show
reels.
that damn polar bear.
Yes, but then they're also paying influencers millions and hundreds of thousands of dollars to do so. Like, there's a face attached to every brand.
Sure.
And so if you wanna build your company or build your brand or scale, show your face, and if you truly genuinely don't wanna show your face, you can pay somebody to do it for you.
Mm,
meaning that's like the power of influence now is that you can pay people to help promote your brand so you don't have to be the face.
right.
First mistake, right? Show yourself. There's got to be a face to the brand. Second mistake is inconsistency, which we kind of talked about. You got to do the thing. And third is there's a fine line between doing what's in and doing what everybody else is doing.
Hmm.
And so like when I go and find content for you guys, I look and see what's working and then I rewrite it in your guys' words, like a way you would say it. One, but two, if I see a piece of content, like especially like memes, right? And you'll see wax memes. If I seen one person do it, I'm not gonna have you guys do that.
Hmm.
And so I call it still like an artist.
Hmm.
And so I'll find other videos from other industries and turn it into wax stuff.
Yeah.
And so still like an artist and get other people's ideas because it is hard. Like it is hard to sit there. Like you're just gonna sit there one day on the toilet and just come up with all these great fucking ideas. Like that's not the way it works.
Well.
Yeah, because nobody's self-made. Like everybody learns
Hmm.
from somebody. Everything's been washed, rinse, and repeated already.
Yeah.
But the best way to go about it is still like an artist and find inspiration from other industries. And that's like Viviana taught a class yesterday, and she said that she's like, I look at barber content. They're fucking great. She's like, I don't look at what other lash artists are doing. I'm looking at what barbers are doing. So look in other industries and use their inspo to make it your own.
Yeah.
Because everything's recycled, but
Hmm.
just recycle it the right way.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's a great way to put a spin on, top mistakes and also a nice tip. My last question. So I know that you're really busy, your business is scaling, and you have a family that you manage, and there's just a lot of moving pieces all the time.
Mhm.
You're very particular about who you work with and why you work with them. So I'm gonna put you on the spot and ask you like why you decided to take us on the Wax Pros.
Oh shit.
Hmm?
I honestly, right? Fuck, I'm gonna get hung on the Wax Pro show. Oh man. Honestly, at the time, like even now, like now I have to be a little bit more strategic, but I know it sounds stupid, but I feel like I have an eye, like when I know, like if you got it, you got it. And after talking to you, we talked on the phone for like 2 hours. First time I talked to you. Then I talked to you again. And I'm like, damn. And like I realized like, damn, they have it. The biggest thing though, why I chose you guys is because I knew you guys are good at what the fuck you do. And if you weren't, it would have been really hard. 'Cause then I would have had you say things that you didn't genuinely do.
Or believe in.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And so I knew that you guys were really good at what you did. So it made my job a lot easier.
Right.
Same thing with, Vanessa and like some of my clients, like even Viviana, like she's one of the best lash artists in the state. And so like those clients are easier because they're really, really good at what they do.
They're passionate.
Yeah, it's the
Can't fake the
passion.
funk.
Can't fake the funk. So it just made my job a lot easier because I just knew like they're gonna be fine because they do know what the fuck they're doing.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Appreciate that. Many praises to Phil Barreras, Viconic Consulting, and the whole team around you because there's
There's a
there's a
team now.
lot of team members now. So
Yes, it was one
congratulations.
guy,
Mhm.
video editor, the videographer, the
Right.
script writer,
Right.
and I
He
was
was
like,
everything.
yeah, and then gotta have a team scale.
That's right. So thank you very much and congratulations on your success
Thank
and
you
your
for having me.
continued growth.
Thank you.
Until next time.